Hi everyone, it's Alisha Brashay here at Cosmic Gateway. Welcome to June. We're here, we're almost halfway through the year, and what a magnificent year it's been so far with so many energetic changes happening on the planet. Um, it's been a while since I made a video, it's been pretty crazy, so I'm just going to give a little brief summary of what some of my observations have been as we've been going through sort of the last fortnight. And just what's been coming through. So one of the main themes that has been coming up is very much around the masculine and feminine balance that's going on the planet. And of course, it's an energy and it's affecting all of us. So things that I've noticed have been like there's this pendulum swinging kind of energy that's been happening. So it's going from some really intense sort of angry, irritated, frustration energy, and along with like what I call the 3D mind or the lower mind, and a lot of egoic thoughts playing out, and then next thing it shifts and it goes into this really heightened state of bliss and love and creativity, and it's just sort of going back and forth, and I know that a lot of people have been experiencing that, and it's the opposite ends of the spectrum that it's playing out. And the way I feel it or interpret it is, we're experiencing one extreme and then sliding across the scale and hitting the other extreme. And so it's trying to find its midway point. And I was having a really beautiful conversation with one of my soul brothers this week, and we were talking about how, when you find that midway point, that is, that's pure source energy. So it's not one or the other. It's the balance. It's the connection to source and the divine. So, if you have been experiencing the pendulum swinging energy or bipolar energy, as I've been calling it, and if you think about it, if you look at what the masculine energy stands for, it's very action oriented, it's very fiery, it's very fast moving. There can be pent up aggression and things like that, and then the feminine energy is very receptive, not as fast paced movement. It's very creative energy, it's very inward energy. So just know that if you are going through, there is this kind of balancing out. And that was throughout last week, there was a lot of messages that came through in my dream state around that, about how this balancing out is happening. And I was given a 6-month time frame, and I'm not really sure. I'm not good with time or time frames, but I don't think that it's going to be that intense for that period of time. But just know that as we're going through this kind of wave of back and forth, there's some of the things that you could experience, and know that that's a part of the process as it's starting to balance out. And one thing I've noticed with that, because I've noticed it, especially last week, it was very heightened, and I would have these swings in energy and mood, literally a couple of times back and forth each day. What I noticed as it was switching. As it was switching up, I noticed the difference in the temperature in my body. So if I was in that sort of irritated, kind of fast-paced, kind of more action-oriented masculine energy, I would find a lot of heat charging through my body, and then all of a sudden I would feel the tingles of energy running through, and it would flip, and then my energy would go really cold. And so this kind of, I noticed that as the energy and the mood swings were shifting, there was this difference in body temperature. So really interesting observations. We've had, a lot of consistent Schumann activity almost daily. If you've had a look at the posts on Facebook that I regularly update, it's sort of been coming in for a good week or more in around the same time, and the spikes have sort of, for me now, when the energy spikes or when the Schumann spikes, I know that it's happening as it's happening before I even look at the charts, and I know a lot of you are noticing that too. Our energy bodies are becoming so highly tuned to that influx that, you know, we already know it before we need, you know, we look at the graphs or look at what's happening. And you know, one thing that I notice is that I straight away I feel like I want to fall asleep. You know, it's instant. It's like, oh, I start to fade out. And if I have the opportunity at that time, you know, I will have a short rest or lay down, because I know that it's an important part to be able to allow whatever energy is coming in to integrate that. And sometimes we have to be switched offline or go into, you know, a sleep state so that we can digest that, we can process that, and we can receive it without any resistance. What else? So I know we had, going back just over a week ago, we had the interplanetary wave that came in, and that was a really hard one, and I know it really knocked a lot of people. It brought up a lot of old stuff, a lot of emotions, a lot of thought processes, and I know it hit a lot of people quite heavy for quite a few days, and I certainly wasn't immune to that. And I think, you know, when we have those intense waves, I think that they're a really good thing, even though they're challenging at the time. You know, they're allowing us to release within our energetic imprint, and also for the collective field. You know, we're doing that collaboratively, we're doing that together, so it allows that to release and shift out. I have, you know, and we've had some sun activity from the next solar cycle, which has started to come through, which I find very, very exciting. I'm not going to talk more about that in this video. I'm going to wait. I'm going to try and collab with Alexis from Ascension Diaries to talk a little bit more about that this week. So stay tuned for that. What else has been happening? Dream state has been crazy, and a lot of fun too. So I know I've had reports of a lot of people experiencing having a lot of energy upgrades during their sleep. So going back to what I was saying, when the Schumann spikes and makes us feel sleepy, I know it can do different effects for different people. So, you know, if it doesn't make you sleepy, if it makes you awake, that's completely fine too. It's just how your body responds to energy. You know, there is no right or wrong way to this ascension process. You know, we're all quite unique in our own signatures, but of course, if we're connected to the same soul group, no doubt that we're going to go through very similar experiences. So it's so important to connect with like-minded people and people who share, you know, that similar energy, so that we can, you know, normalize it. That's been a massive part of the focus, is normalizing these experiences, so people know that they're not going crazy. People know that they're, you know, that's completely normal. And, you know, often encourage people to connect with their body. You know, if you're presenting with different ascension symptoms, my general rule of thumb is, you know, approximately 3 days come in, go out. You know, if it lingers longer than that, you may want to go and check with a practitioner that you feel guided to for whatever you're experiencing. But generally with ascension symptoms, you know, my rule of thumb is 3 days. And so at the moment, what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of aches and pains in the body, especially in the lower legs, in the upper legs, the thighs, the hips, a lot of backache. And, you know, that generally, from my own observation, when we have a bit of an energy wave come in, and I did feel one come through on the weekend just past, so around the 31st, it was quite heightened. I started to feel the trembles. That's how I feel the energy come through. I can feel the vibrations in the body, and my body starts to kind of have this shaky feeling. I know people can experience dizziness and nausea and ringing in the ears. You know, that can all be part of it, depending on how your body receives the energy. But it's really important to connect with your body and, you know, tune in to what is happening. You know, you are your best guide. You know your body better than anybody else. So, you know, if you are going through certain symptoms and experiencing different things, you know, take that time, you know, tune in, go into meditation, tune into the body and connect with the body, and ask for the information of what, you know, what is happening and how can I best assist. It's going back to some of the more simpler things, asking those questions, communicating and connecting with the body, connecting with the higher self, asking for the information of how you can best support yourself. And there's so many ways that we can support ourselves. Meditation, connecting out in nature, going for nature walks, salt baths. I'm big fan of running the energy through the column and clearing the energy field. That's my way. There's so many different ways, so find what works for you. Rest when you need to, all that stuff. I'm just trying to think what else. I did write a list. There was so many things that I wanted to cover, but I think I'm going to, put out some more videos later in the week and into next week, just to talk about some of the more exciting planetary sun activity. But, I think pay attention to the sun. At the moment, there's a lot of messages that are coming through about different waves that are coming through the center of the sun, and that's what's activating our energy body. So going back to the wave that I felt come through on the weekend and the jittering feeling that I experienced, that's not uncommon. I feel that quite regularly when we have sort of that energy wave come through. The after effects of that is that it does upgrade our DNA. It does upgrade our energy body. So it will almost kind of flush through. So, it will be felt energetically first to the more subtle, refined senses. And then if there is anything that needs to clear out, then it will bring up the, emotions, the mental patterning to clear, and then it will integrate into the body. So then the body will start to adjust. And sometimes the body is the hardest to adjust, but see it as the energy filtering in through the subtle bodies into the physical body. And so a lot of aches and pains are quite present as the body starts to adjust to this higher frequency. So I think that's it for now. I hope you guys are doing well, and if you feel guided to, I am doing sessions. If you feel that you need support, I'll put the details in the description box below. And feel free to sign up to the Facebook subscription. I'll put the link in there. I'll be doing more videos more regularly on the subscription channel, and I'll still be doing these updates as often as I can. So thank you all for who have subscribed and signed up there. I really appreciate your support. So let's get into it. We'll do some intuitive insights for, this will be for the first half of June 2019, so for the first fortnight. And I've got some cards here. I am working on some new artwork, but it's not quite ready yet. So, so we'll go with these. So these are some of my favorites. So this will be A, card A, or reading A. And then we have B, reading B, or card B. And lucky last, C. So card C, reading C. So tune in to which one you're attracted to, and the links for the individual guidance insights will be in the description box below. So much love to you all, and I will connect with you soon.